Dumelang bagaetsho, I'm Tebogo Tinti. Welcome to Time with Tea, and thank you so much for choosing to spend time with me. Today I am talking about books. Well, a book that I just finished reading, Too Many Cooks by Dana Bate. This is the type of book that you want to read right after you've just come out of a heavy book. You know, after you've done some heavy reading, or you haven't been reading for a while and you want something light to ease you back into your reading routine, or you really just feel like having a little bit of a chuckle, a little bit of a giggle here and there. Read a story that you feel like you know how it's gonna end. It's a very familiar story. When I got into it, I felt like, after 3 chapters, I was like, I know how this is gonna go. I know how this is gonna end. But there is like a very skinny twist, I would call it that. This twist is not overwhelming. Well, not just a twist, a couple of twists in this book are not too shocking. They're very skinny. You know, you sort of feel like you see it coming, but you don't. You don't see it coming, but it's not a shock. So I was just coming out of Wait to Be Seated and Gifted, Hunted and Haunted, both books by Hosea Rampego, when I was preparing for the 30th Conversations with the Author at the South African State Theatre, which went very well. I'm very satisfied, if I say so myself. So those 2 books really put me in a slumber. You know, they were quite heavy. They were quite, they were heavy. Lack of a better word. They were heavy. So I needed something light because I never want to slack off of my reading or just completely get out of my reading routine. So I picked up Too Many Cooks by Dana Bate. She takes us through a story of a cookbook ghostwriter. Yes, so it's the character is Kelly. She's the ghostwriter, and then she gets offered a job. Well, her mother passes away very suddenly, and then she gets offered a job out in London, and then she breaks up with her longtime boyfriend, who has been like a steady compass in her life. So she takes this job and moves to London to meet this celebrity who wants to write a cookbook, bringing along her childhood favorite recipes, and she wanted to introduce them to her fans, to the modern day. And you know, those celebrities who eat clean but want us to believe that they do eat burgers every now and then, or those celebrities who really eat junk but want us to believe that they eat clean. It's a mixture of that. It's a mixture of that. I mean, there was a point where she wanted a kale burger. No, I don't even have a taste of kale in my mouth. I can't even imagine a kale burger. And that is a recipe that took forever to perfect. Even the celebrity's husband, the lady's husband, was like, this is too much. So, but then you get one of those love triangle stories where, Kelly, the writer, will sort of fall in love with the celebrity's husband, and because the celebrity's husband is always away, they get to steal moments here and there, and without giving too much away, it's such a fun and light-hearted story. Like I said, you feel like you know how it's gonna end, but really you don't, because that skinny twist at the end really did it for me. I was like, oh my god, I'm so happy I got into this read, and I'm so glad that it ended like this for Kelly, and I'm so happy. I hope that she finds whatever she's looking for in Paris, and she finally falls in love for real. And then after that, she goes back and takes care of her ailing father and not so focused brother. You know, we all have those. So it's that kind of story. It's like, if it was a movie, it would definitely be played on Lifetime. You know, the channel Lifetime, with people who live in like a cute suburban area, and I imagine them to be tall and blonde and blue or green eyes. She draws a picture of the sort of lifestyle that these people are living. She draws a picture of the house that they live in. She even draws a picture of the apartment that Kelly lives in. It takes your brain and it takes it to a place that you've never been before. This place only exists in your mind. Even if you've been to London, the way that she writes about it, it only exists in your mind. And that's the beauty about literature. It's the beauty of books, that they take you places when you have nowhere else to go, or they take you places when all you want to do is sit right where you are. And this was such a fun read. I highly recommend it. If I were to give it a stars, I will definitely without a shadow of a doubt give it a 7 stars for Dana Bate, Too Many Cooks. And I got this Cook Crazy store, and it was about, how much was this? Less than 100 rand. Less than 100 rand, because I remember I got a couple of stuff too, and yeah, didn't really. But it's less than 100 rand. Go Crazy Store, go Under Park if you're interested in this kind of thing, or if you're not a reader and you want to get into reading, and you want something that's just not gonna, weigh heavy on your spirit and make you feel like, woo, why did I start this book? You actually look forward to the next chapter. And what Dana did with this book is like, she kept the chapters appropriate. They're not too short, they're not too long, they're just right. And everything about this book is perfect. The cover feels nice, the grammar is perfect, the language is simple, easy, and understandable. I didn't have to reach for my dictionary once reading this book. I understood. Even if there was a word here and there that I could not pronounce, I could live with it. I wasn't irritated. Everything is just right, and I really look forward to reading more of her stuff. Any bookstore that I'm going to visit from now on, or a library, or I'm going to keep my eye out for Dana, because I have never read her before. This was my first time with her, and she definitely scored a fan in me. She definitely scored a fan. So Dana Bate, 7 stars. It says 2's company, but 3 is a recipe for disaster, and that is a fact. I will see you next time for a different book, or gender-based violence case, or arts and performing arts theater, or a topic about myself. We'll see, because I always say there are 4 things that I will always talk about. I will see you next time while I talk about one of those. I'm Dana Bate, and I am out for now. Love and light.